Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 1 of Christmas, if you can believe it. I have no idea why I cannot get my camera to zoom in. I have been trying to figure it out for, I don't know, the last 10 minutes, but I give up. So I am just going to, sorry, my cat is attacking my foot. I am just going to continue on with how it is, and I hope that everyone's going to be able to see okay. Sorry, I gotta get rid of this cat. Just stop it. She is trying to pull my socks off my feet. She's such a little terror. Anyways, today, I'm really glad that you're joining me if you're here, whether you're live or whether you're watching the replay. I hope everything is on. I don't see it doesn't tell me if anybody's on. So if you're here, make a comment, say something, say hi, let me know that you're watching. But what we're gonna do today is make this cute, adorable little gift box. So it's so sweet, so easy to make, and you literally just like pull up. This one fits a Kit Kat just perfectly, and then you can push it back in just like that. So it's so cute. It's so simple. You can make it in any colors that you would like, obviously. We are celebrating Christmas, and I think blue and silver just look fabulous together. So that's what we're going to do tonight. But before we get started, let me just show you here an upcoming class that we have. There is limited seating, and it is half full at this point. This is our cards, coffee, and Christmas cheer class. It is $45. It's going to be here in Medicine Hat in my home studio on Friday, November 1st, from 7 till 9-ish. And I say ish because we're going to make 3 cards. We're going to also make a box of tags and just kind of hang out and play a few games together with all the festivities and all the crafting fun. So that's going to be wonderful. You can find more information on this on my Facebook page and a link to register. If you'd like to pay cash or check rather than credit, you can also just send me a message and we can sort that out as well. So welcome everyone. But this is going to actually go a lot easier than you might think. Let me show you what we're going to be working with today. So today we are using the Sparkling Snowflake stamp set. This is one actually that carried over from last year. I'm a big fan of snowflakes, and these ones are beautiful. They've got like some really detailed images, and then some background ones that you can put behind these decorative images to kind of create layers, or you can just use them all separately. Today, we're just going to use the decorative ones for our box. And then it comes with greetings, which I always think, especially when you're first starting your collection, it's really important to consider that. Do you get images and greetings in your sets? Because there's some sets that are only images and then you don't have a sentiment to accompany it. So unless you have a standalone sentiment set, make sure that you're looking for that combination. Now, the really nice thing about this set is it has a coordinating punch. So we're going to also use that today, as you can see here, to cut out this snowflake. And I think that just kind of makes this card. But this is a really great punch for making tags, or as you see, just decorative little edges on your cards and parcels, etc. So we'll put that in action today. If you're looking for this stamp set, you can find it here, like I said, in our annual catalog. And it is right down here on page 79. So that's where you can find it. If you don't have an annual catalog and you live in Canada, let me know and I'd be happy to send you one. So here's the stamp set and punch that we're going to be working with today. Okay, let us get started. All right, so all that you need for this box is a couple pieces of paper, and I'm just trying to get my ink pads off of my instructions. We need 1 piece of paper, which is going to be our base, that measures 3 3/4 inches by 11 inches. So that's the full length of your paper. And then you're just going to cut it at 3 3/4. That's all you need to make that box. I know it seems like this is not going to be able to turn into that, but I promise you it will. The other thing that we're going to use is we're going to have a piece. This is Blueberry Bushel, this bright blue. We are going to have a piece here for our punched tag, and this is boho blue. Now I've cut this at 1 7/8, so just under 2 inches so that it can fit into our punch. You can go anywhere from kind of 1 inch and up to 2 inches when you're using that punch. 1 7/8 just fits really nicely. The other thing that I pre-did here is I cut out a couple of dies. So this is my absolutely favorite die set, and it's called Stylish Shapes dies. It's hard to see here, but it's got all different sizes of circles and squares, and they all kind of layer on top of each other in different sizes. And then it's also got a number of labels, which is fantastic when you are making cards. So you've got little ones, long and narrow. They're all flagged. And then this shorter kind of stumpier one, which is the one that we're going to use tonight. So lots of options here. A really big tag here you can see at the bottom as well. But I've gone ahead and cut out this circle here. So I think it's like the third smallest, kind of the mid-size of circle in the white. And then I cut out a blueberry bushel in this kind of stumpy tag, I call it. That's not really an official name, but I call it the stumpy tag. So anyways, this is a great beginner die set, one of the first ones to add to your collection because it is giving you so many different options. And as you can see here, it creates just this really beautiful detail around the edges of all the different pieces. So unlike a punch, which is fabulous for really quick and easy crafting, you're getting these beautiful details on here. So that is really one of the benefits of using dies versus punches. It's just some of those extra options that you get on your pieces. Okay, so step one, we are going to actually stamp. So we're going to take our blueberry bushel ink. And if you're new to Stampin' Up, these ink pads open kind of like a makeup palette. So you're going to just kind of flip this open and then you're going to push it back in like that. Okay, we're going to use the largest snowflake from that set and we're going to just tap, 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 and we're going to just randomly stamp that on our base here. Really no right or wrong way to do that. We're just going to kind of sort them out however we want to all over the base. Okay, and I might just put one more little stamp right here because it just feels a little empty to me. And same up there. Okay, so we've got our base done. It needs one more there, right? Okay, we've got our base done. That's all we're going to do there on our base, and we're going to start scoring it. But before I get carried away, I want to clean my stamp because we're going to use this again for our tag. So this is the chamois, simple chamois it's called, and I know it looks really gross and dirty, but I promise you, it just gets stained. It doesn't transfer over to your stamps, and it's just really easy to use. All you do is run it under your tap. It just uses regular tap water, and you can use it to clean all of your stamps. So I keep mine in an old stamp case like that, and I just kind of leave it partially open so that it doesn't kind of get stinky in between uses. It's going to stay wet for quite some time. And then to clean it, you just run it under the tap and wring it out again. Okay, so we've got our stamp cleaned for that. Let's start scoring. I'm going to set our box to the side here and bring in our instructions. So this is what we're going to do. We have our base cardstock, and let me just make sure you can all see that. We have our base cardstock that's 3 3/4 by 11. And then we've got some scoring to do. So on our paper trimmer, we have 2 blades. We have a cutting blade, that's the dark gray, and we have a scoring blade that's the light gray. So we want to get this dark gray one out of the way so we don't accidentally cut our paper. You can even take it off if you're worried about doing that. But I don't think we're going to have an issue. So all of these lines on here are our score lines, and then we've got a few cut lines, okay? So let's start actually scoring this way. So we are going to score at 5 1/4 and 5 3/4. So I'm going to just line this up here at 5 1/4 and at 5 3/4. And we're talking inches here. Now, if you had a longer piece, this does have an arm that comes out as well. but it'll measure all the way up to 6 inches without that arm extended. So that's really nice. Okay, we've got those ones scored there. The other ones we need to score are at 1/2 inch and then 3 1/4, or basically 1/2 inch from each side. So we're going to go ahead and measure this at 1/2 inch. And again, make sure you're using your light gray blade, your scoring blade. And I'm going to just turn it around and just do the other 1/2 inch like this. But again, you could measure it up to 3 3/4. And that's it. That's all that we need to do. So let me just leave this here for you so that you can look at it as we go. We are going to take our paper snips and we are going to cut along the 2 middle score lines right here. So where they cross, we want to cut from the edge right up to that 1/2 inch score line. You end up with a little flap like this. Okay, we're going to do that on both sides. Okay, and that's all she wrote, folks. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our box together. It doesn't matter which side you do this on. Now, did I keep my tape out? I did not. You could use your liquid glue for this. It is strong. It just would need a little bit of drying time, but it is going to give you a little bit of wiggle room if you're worried about it sticking too quickly. This is our Terran tape. And it's double-sided tape that's really quite strong, and I like it for 3D projects. And we're going to just stick it along this side here, and then we're going to tear it off or cut it off, whatever you want. And then we're going to do it on the same piece, or the same side, I guess, all the way up on this side. Okay. All right. So I have put the tape, if you can see, from that score line where the flap is all the way kind of up to that top edge. And I've done 2 sides on the 1/2 inch on the same end of our cardstock. Okay, so now we want to just kind of fold all our edges and burnish these edges really nicely. You can use your bone folder. That'll help you get these really nice and crisp. Same with these little tabs. We want to do that. Also, by burnishing this tape, it's going to help you to take the paper off really easily. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So these 12 weeks of Christmas, we're going to do a variety of different projects. We will do some different treat holders and boxes, probably some tags in there. Potentially some home decor, we'll see, but definitely some cards as well. So stay tuned. I think next week I'm going to actually maybe do a shaker card. So it depends if I had ordered actually some pieces from Stampin' Up. So it depends if they get here in time. Okay, so I have folded all of my different fold lines. I'm going to fold in my little tabs for the bottom. Okay. And then we're literally going to just fold this up and line it up. So I'm going to go on this side and I'm going to just kind of start at the bottom and I'm going to line up my edges all the way up to the top. Okay. And then give it a nice little push like that. Oops, I almost stuck on the other side. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. So I have just folded over. I'm going to start at the end here, line it up so it's nice and square at the bottom, and then just kind of work my way up to the top. Now, if you have liquid glue, you're going to have to just leave it for a little bit so that it can dry and get really strong before your box is really ready to hold any contents. And there you go. You got a box that fits a regular size chocolate bar. Now, fortunately for my own good, I thought this was going to fit a large size chocolate bar. So I went to the store and bought 3 large size chocolate bars yesterday. It does not fit a large size chocolate bar. It fits a small chocolate bar. So now I have 3 large size chocolate bars and a small chocolate bar to eat. So lucky me, right? Happy holidays. Anyways, there is our box. Let's start working on the decorations, the tag part for our box. All right, we are going to take our little tag piece. Our punches have this closure thing that kind of helps you save space to store them. So you need to just turn it over and unlatch that. And I actually like to look at my punches from the back when I'm punching, because then I can see, is it centered? Is there an image I'm trying to get around? I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to just line that up in the middle. and I'm going to squish it like that. There we go. And now I've got my beautiful snowflake punched out. Like, isn't that just stunning? It's gorgeous. All right, we're going to set that aside and we're going to work on our other pieces. So we're going to do a little bit of heat embossing today. This is just a scrap piece of paper that I have. I have got an embossing buddy, and actually we have a little embossing kit, and what it comes with is the embossing buddy. It comes with, do I have it here? These tweezers that you'll see in action. It comes with a tray, and it comes with a paintbrush to help you clean out your tray. So it comes with a whole kit of things, and I didn't mark that in my catalog for you, but you'll find it if you look in the index under embossing. But this embossing buddy is really, really helpful. What this does is it removes the static from your paper. Now, where are the pieces that I cut? Did anybody see where I put those? Because, you know, there we go. All right. We're going to start with our circle, and our circle is the large snowflake again. So we're just using the one stamp. When you're heat embossing, you're going to use Versamark. This is a clear ink that is sticky, and it allows the ink to stick to it. So I'm going to take my embossing buddy. I'm going to run it over my paper, just like that. And I'm just going to do my blue one while I'm at it. There we go. Just give it a little rub, set that aside. And then I'm going to take my stamp. And again, we're going to tap it, but I know my ink pad is a little bit dry, so I'm going to like really get in there today with the ink. And then we're going to just kind of stamp down like this. Okay. And it's going to just, you're not really going to be able to see it at all. It leaves sort of a watermark on there. My tip to you is right away to cover your Versamark pad, store it this way so the ink stays at the top of your pad, but you want to close this before you start putting around your embossing powder, or somehow it all just gets attracted to your stamp pad and you end up with a bunch of embossing powder stuck to your ink pad. So I just dump it like this out of the container. And then I just kind of give it a little bit of a hit to get anything that's loose out. And if I think that it could use a little bit more embossing powder, like I see that's not maybe as heavy as I would like, or there's some empty spots, I'm going to just do it again. Okay, now because I put my paper or my embossing powder on here, I just fold it and then I can funnel it back in. The container, or what do you call that? I'm not sure. The piece that comes with you in your kit, it has a little funnel, so you can just dump out your embossing powder as well. And I'll see if I can pull that up before we're done. All right, so because this is little, I'm going to actually use my tweezers. These ones you push to open, and then they just kind of hold it like this, and I'm not going to burn my fingers. This is my embossing gun. This one I have had for 20 plus years. So, I mean, it's once you have one, you have one. Stampin' Ups are great. And you're going to just heat, it might get a little noisy, but you're going to heat this until you notice that it starts just changing shiny. So I'll see if I can hold it up where you can see as it's changing. The first time that you use this, it's going to take a little bit longer because your heat gun has to warm up. But then subsequent pieces that you emboss go a lot faster. Okay, so can you see that? Where the powder is versus the embossed part, how it's clear or it's shiny versus kind of dull and powder looking? Yeah, that's how you know that it's embossing. Okay, so we've got a snowflake here, and embossing, actually I think I missed a little spot on one of the edges there. Hold on. Okay. Embossing, I think, is my most favorite thing during the holidays because it gives you kind of just that shiny metallic feeling. You can purchase embossing powders in a metallic set, so it has gold, copper, and silver, or you can purchase it in neutral, which is clear, black, and white. Okay, And then we're going to do our tag. So let's stamp this. I have a sentiment that says, make the season sparkle. I'm going to do my best to do this without getting my head here in the camera too much. So we'll see what we end up with. I think we did okay. All right, let's get our Versamark pad and put that there. Get our scratch pad back. And we're going to dump some embossing powder on it again. Okay. And I can see that I got a little bit of embossing powder up here, probably for my finger. I'm just going to try to wipe that off. Okay, and that's what the paintbrush that comes in the kit helps you with too. If there's a little spot where you get powder and you don't want it, you can just brush it off. I think that that's okay. So I'm going to actually just put this on here so that it's easier to pick up. And I am going to put this away before I just blow it all over. And while I do that, I'll just mention, I often get the question about embossing. If you can use your hair dryer, you cannot. Your hair dryer doesn't get hot enough. And two, it doesn't blow quite as concentrated. So it just blows your powder everywhere. Okay, this one will go a little faster. Can you see that changing? Isn't that beautiful? Okay. And these little tweezers just save your fingers. Okay, so isn't that beautiful? I love the embossing, especially on the dark paper. It's just gorgeous. Let's put the rest of this together. Okay, so we're going to just use our liquid glue. You could use your tear and tape again if you wanted to. Just decide which side of your tag looks better. They're basically the same. And is it the right length? So I don't want it quite that long. So I'm going to kind of just eyeball it. And then I'm actually just going to glue it. And then I'll cut it off. You could eyeball it and cut it and then stick it on. But sometimes I don't know exactly how much the punch is going to cut off. So I try to err on the longer side, and then you can always trim it down. So this one's a little bit longer than the other one, but I think that's okay. And then I'm going to just turn this over and again, just cut along here. Uh-oh. And make sure that we keep it straight while we're cutting. Okay. That's because I'm using the liquid glue, so it's wiggling around. Okay, there, we've cut that off. We've got our little piece here stuck to the front, and I'm going to use dimensionals to stick on the other two pieces. Now we are going to have to put a hole here at the top. If you have a hole punch, just a regular handheld hole punch, you can get it at any stationery store. You can use that. You could probably even just, stick a big needle through it if you had one. I have this old Stampin' Up! Punch, and I'm actually going to use that. And again, I'm going to use it upside down because then I can see where I'm punching. But because I want to have a little bit of space for my ribbon, I'm actually going to punch it 3 times beside each other like this to make it a little bit longer. And so, that's just really something to think about when you're crafting, is that you can be as creative with the tools that you have. This is crooked. You're never going to notice once we get the ribbon in there. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to just stick one in the middle first of all. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And then I'll stick a couple beside it again. 1, 2, and we'll stick one over here. Okay, you could also use a small circle die. Some of the sets have really small kind of dies that you could use. But that works perfect for me. Okay, so let's put this together. We're going to add a couple dimensionals, and these are just foam adhesive that is kind of cut into hexagons. We're going to stick this on there, just like so. We'll remove the backing, and then we're going to put this kind of a little bit to the left, but mostly to the center. Okay, And the reason I'm doing it like that is because this is going to just be a little bit to the right. So then it's balancing it out. So now because we used dimensionals on this, we're going to put dimensionals on this side that is outside of the circle, just so that it kind of is level with the circle. And then I'm going to add a little bit of regular adhesive to this side so that can stick to the circle that we created previously. And I'm going to just add that just like that. Okay. Now again, we are using liquid glue, so we're going to just have to hold that for just a second until it sticks. Voila. Okay. Now, the last part of this, and I should have brought one of my other chocolate bars, but I did not, is we're going to take our chocolate bar and some ribbon. So any ribbon that you have, this one here is 3/8 of an inch, and it's just kind of a clear, sparkly white ribbon, and you're going to feed it through. And I'm just trying to feed it this way because it naturally wants to curl this way for some reason. You're going to feed it through one side and then through the other side. And here comes the cat. Everyone say hi to Duchess. Duchess, you're in the camera. Go away, Dutchie. They love the ribbon. My cats are ribbon thieves, so I have to be very careful about the ribbon because they will just chew it all to bits. So I've got to keep it away. Okay, so we've got our ribbon kind of pulled through on both sides. I've given myself lots of extra room. And then you just stick your chocolate bar in there and it pushes the ribbon to the bottom. And that way, when you pull up your ribbon, you pull up your chocolate bar, see? So again, we're going to push it back down. You could also put a little tag inside if you want to with your chocolate bar and it'll pull up as well. Really anything that you want, you could put in there. It doesn't have to be chocolate, but I love chocolate, so that's what I went with. And then I'm just going to tie a bow. I actually think this would look really pretty with like a solid white ribbon or a multi-layered ribbon. But we're kind of going with the snow theme today, so. And I'm just kind of tying my bow and then making it tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut these off how I want them. No, Dutchie, she's stealing my chocolate bar. And I'm going to cut this one off too. So then we've got our bow at the top. And then this one too. Duchess, give me that. She is eating ribbon. Okay, we're going to stick this in there just like so. This is our old one that I took the chocolate bar out of. But this is what we have. Cute, hey? Cute and super easy, and it doesn't use a lot of supplies. You obviously can make this in any color, decorate it with any set that you have, or for any season. I think this makes a really fabulous, beautiful gift that's really cost effective for teachers, coworkers, maybe your neighbors, anyone that you just want to give a little something to, that looks special, that you put a little bit of time and effort into without breaking the bank. So beautiful, beautiful project. I hope that you'll give this a go. I will post the instructions for the size of cardstock as well as the measurements where you're going to score. I will post all of that probably in the comments of this video. So if you want to look for that there, you will find maybe just a screenshot of the instructions with the score lines and stuff. So anyways, thank you for joining me. Come back next Wednesday at 7 o'clock and we'll be here. We'll make another Christmas project for the next 12 weeks. So I hope that you will join me and that I will see you here in my studio on November the 1st. Have a great night. Bye.